Voters in Guinea Bissau went to the polls Sunday to choose a new president to replace longtime leader João Bernardo Vieira, who was assassinated in March. 3 former presidents are among the 11 candidates running. Scott Stearns reports on this.
More than 600,000 voters are registered for this special election to choose a new leader in Guinea Bissau. Ballots were delivered days in advance to prevent fraud at polling stations where materials have arrived late in previous elections. Clear plastic ballot boxes were sealed with numbered plastic ties. In a country of fewer than 2 million people, campaigning is often done at close quarters, so security forces have kept rival supporters apart in a campaign to replace President Vieira, whose killing came within hours of his chief political rival dying in a bomb blast. It's the latest violent change of power in a country with a history of army mutinies and coups. UN Information Officer Vladimir Montero says authorities here must bring to justice those responsible for the violence.
In Guinea-Bissau we had a lot of killings, and it's not normal in a state, the democratic state, when you want to respect rule of law and human rights. A group come and kills a president, and nobody is accountable.
Observers from Portuguese-speaking countries, the United Nations, and the Economic Community of West African States are monitoring this election. The leading contenders are the ruling party's Malam Bakai Sanha, a former interim president and chair of the National Assembly, who lost 9 years ago to his chief rival in this vote, former president and philosophy professor Kumba Yala. Yala leads the main opposition party and comes from the country's majority ethnic group, which controls the military. Their biggest challenger is independent candidate Enrique Rosa, who's also a former interim president and is campaigning on a populist platform of helping the poor in one of the world's poorest countries. Life expectancy here is just 46. Each rainy season brings another cholera outbreak. Fewer than 20% of people finish primary school. No candidates expected to win an outright majority in this first round, meaning the top 2 finishers will meet again in a runoff to restore elected leadership in Guinea-Bissau. Scott Stearns, VOA News, Bissau.